I'm Dr. D. Marshiana, working as an assistant professor in the Department of Electronics and Instrumentation, Satyabama Institute of Science and Technology, deemed to be the University, Chennai. Now in this session, I'm going to talk about algorithmic state machine charts. What is meant by an algorithmic state machine? An algorithmic state machine is a special flow chart which is especially designed for a digital hardware process. So why we are going for a digital hardware process is, in digital hardware process, you can able to analyze this chart by from one state to the another state. Here we are describes the sequence of operations as well as here states depending upon the time basis through which it is working. Now we are going to see about what are the elements used in an ASM chart. Generally there are three basic elements which is used in an ASM chart. First we call it as the state box, next is the decision box, and the third one is the conditional box. First let us go with the state box. A state box is a one which represents the variable of the process. Here in the state box, it is a rectangular box which has one input and one output. The one input we call it as an entry line and the output we call it as an exit line. Here inside the state box, there are two major things which is necessary for a state box. One we call it as the state name and another one we call it as the state code. The state name is given by using a different alphabets depending upon the number of states available, while the state code is given based on the digital value. If you see it, a digital value means it is either 0 or 1. So depending upon the number of states available, we are going to give the digital value for this process. This is called as the state box. Next one we are going with is the decision box. What is meant by a decision box? Generally we know a decision box is nothing but we are going to make a decision. So if you are making a decision, there are two different types of outputs will be available inside a decision. So it has one entry and two outputs. The two outputs are either 0 condition or 1 condition or true condition or false condition. If you are going with 0, we are going to consider that the 0 value was a false value and 1 value was the true value. And the last box which is used for the ASM chart is a conditional box. Generally the conditional box is used to represent the output of the process. So here it will have a conditional expression through which you can able to see the conditional outputs will be given inside this conditional box. So it has one input and one output. Generally the input will be from either from the decision box or the state box. The output may be again going back to the other process. For designing this three boxes with the elements, here we are going to consider two different types of examples through which how to draw the ASM chart. There are two types of methods available. One we call it as a Moore method and other we call it as a Mealy method. So with two examples we are going to study about the Moore method and the Mealy method. It is also called as Moore and Mealy circuits or Moore and Mealy machines. Now let us go draw first for the Moore machines. So in this Moore machine we are considering an example through which we are going to design the ASM chart. For this we have considered a three state function. So remember it, always in state function is represented inside a circle and the state name is given in terms of an alphabetical order. So here we are going to give A, B, C as the three alphabetical order through which we are going to give the state name. Inside this, if you see inside the circle, there is a values available inside it which we call it an output of this Moore functions. So above you will have the state name and below you will have your output value. So in between this you are going to separate by a line, find out the difference between the state name as well as the output value. So remember it, always every state name there are two values will be available which we call it as the input values. So it is a digital function, so inputs value will be either 0 or 1. So from the function every state you will have two digital values either 0 or 1. It will be going to 0 condition or 1 condition. Without this the state function is not a perfect one. So to analyze this full state function, what we are going to do is for this example we are going to consider. So in this example we have three inputs A, B and C are the three states. From the three states we are going to analyze when your input is going to 0 or 1. Okay, now let's start with the state diagram. For drawing the state diagram, the first thing is state box. A state box is nothing but the rectangular box which we have seen already. So inside the rectangular box, because it is a Moore machine circuit, what we have to do is we have to enter the value of the output inside this state box itself. So the output value is given inside the state box. and here at the right side of this box you are going to give the state name. So your state name is given. So next is from this A state where it is going. There is two inputs. We have already said whether it is x is 0 or x is 1. So here we are going to make the decision for this state box. So next step is a decision box where it is either true or false condition. Based on the true condition or false condition, it is going to give you the output. So here in this true condition, what we are going to do is check it whether it is true. If it is true, it is going to the other state. If it is false, it is going to the other state. Now let us consider y equal to 0. So your input is x is equal to 0, then it is said to be, it is going to be a true condition. It is again going to the next state of A. And if it is a false condition, it is going to the next state of C. Now let us go with the C value. If C value, if it is 1, it is going again to C itself. So state diagram states that if it has a C value, it is moving to itself. So we have to go an arrow mark so that it again moves on to the C itself. Next one is analyzing of 0. If it is 0, what does it is given over there? It is moving to A. So if it is moving to A, what to do with A? So we can directly move a line arrow mark which represents the A value, or we can go with the B value where it has the same arrow mark. So we have moved on to the B value where it has the same arrow mark. So now we have drawn the diagram and we have given the names for it. The main thing is you have to assign a value. How to assign a value? Depending upon the number of bits available, we are going to assign a value. Here it is a 3 state. If it is a 2 state, you have to either give a 0 or 1. It is the two possible ways through which you can able to give your answer. Here it is a 3 state. So we cannot able to use that state of 0 and 1. So we have to give A as 0, 0, B as 0, 1 and C as 1, 0. Once you have decided the state value, now you have to enter the state value in the state box. That state value should be entered in the left side of the state boxes. So for each A, B and C, we have to enter the state value. This is about the move circuit. Now let's move on to the Mealy circuit. What is the difference between the move circuit and the Mealy circuit? In move circuit, if you see it, the outputs values are available inside the state box itself. But Mealy circuit, the output values will be available along with the input value. So how to write is, you have to put a slash in between the input value and the output value. So this represents, first the top value is the input value within a slash and the bottom value is the output value. Now let us see how to draw the diagram for this Mealy circuit. Right, let's go on to the Mealy circuit. So before entering the Mealy circuit, we need to one thing. So already we have in the previous slide, we have done the assignment value, how for A, B and C. So the same assigned value here we are going to consider for this same Mealy circuit. Now let us start with the Mealy circuit. So Mealy circuit, the output is a different. So here the main thing is we are going to add a conditional box inside that. So by adding the conditional box only, we can able to draw the Mealy circuit. The first one is the state box. State box is a normal rectangular where you are going to, in the top of the right side, you are going to give a state name. From the state name, the next thing what we have to do is, we have to take a decision. So whether x's input is 0 or 1. So depending upon the input 0 or 1, we are going to take the next decision. If it is 0 or 1, if it is 0, what we are going to do? Here you are going to use the conditional block to enter your value. If it is 0, your output is 0. So the inside the conditional block, we are going to enter y is equal to 0. Similarly, if it is 1, we know it. Along with the arrow mark, we have seen it is 1 bar 1. So input bar output. So this output y is 1. So that should be entered at the output value. Now let's go with the next case. So we have to go with, let me go with at 0 case, what to do? From that, the next state box you are going to assign it via state box B. In this it is a rectangular box and the name is given at the top. From this, you are going to give a decision along with the state value. Now the decision is taken, whether it is 0 or 1. If it is 1, what is the output value? Enter inside the conditional box. If it is 0, what is the value? Enter inside the next conditional box. Now from this, you are going to the next one. If it is 1, the output is 0, we know it. But what we have to do is, again the where it is moving to A. So now draw the arrow mark such a way from the conditional box, it moves to A, state box A. So now let us go with the next case. If it is 0, it is moving to the conditional box C, but we haven't drawn the conditional box till A. So now the next status, we are going to create a conditional box during the false condition of A. So here create a state box where A is the state value. In this, where C is from the A value, you are going to give the state value C value. So C is 1 0, which we are given the state name. Now state name and the state assignments are given by using this. Now what is already from the B value we know it. If it is a false condition, it has to move to C. So now draw a line with the arrow mark such that it represents its move on to C. The next case, now we have finished the A and the B. Now we are going to take a decision for C case. What is the decision should be taken for the C case? Here we are going to take again the two decision when your input is 0 or the input is 1. If your input is 0 and 1, next you have to write on the conditional thing and write on the output. So return the outputs are written as y is equal to 0 for the case 0 and y equal to 1 for the case 1. If it is 0, what will happen? If it is in the case, it is again moving back to A. So draw a line which move back to A. And if it is 1, what happens? If it is 1, it move back to C itself. So what you have to do is draw a line before the state box of the C. So now we have drawn the circuit for the ASM chart for both Moore and Mealy circuit. So from this is the main thing which is used for the analysis. In this section, we have seen about how to draw the ASM chart for both Moore and Mealy circuit. In the next session, we can see how you can able to implement this Moore circuit and Mealy circuit using the flip-flops. Thank you.